What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Twitter, TikTok, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos. Hit that notification bell by the subscribe button. Let's get it popping. So basically, man, like I've been saying, man, I've been really kind of trying to come to terms with this topic, man. I think it's the perfect time after seeing what happened last night with all these teams, with Brooklyn getting swept and then Philadelphia not closing out the deal, and then Utah going down the way they did against the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. I said this is the perfect time to do this video. And the video of this title of this video is "You Are What Your Coach Is." Let me say it again. You are what your coach is. You are what your coach is. Right? So let's get into it. All right, look. Anything that you do, you guys hear the phrase all the time, you are what you eat. You are what you put inside your body. You know, stuff, little catchphrases like that, little slick catchphrases. Everything has a meaning to it, and everything has a reason. There's no such thing as a coincidence. You have to pay attention to things around you and to your surroundings to know what's going on. And I think even with basketball, it's a great learning tool. It's a great teacher in life. It's basketball. You learn a lot about life lessons pertaining to personalities, identities, teamwork, hard work, unselfishness, character, discipline. Basketball is more than just dribbling the ball and shooting shots. It's a life teacher. And you can learn many things looking back watching the game. So, this whole playoffs have really exposed a lot of things. And when it comes to certain teams and players and makeup, coaching matters. Coaching matters. Right? If your team, and let me kind of make it a little bit clearer for y'all. If your team is a team basically like the Brooklyn Nets, they got swept yesterday. I ranted on the Brooklyn Nets all series long. I got on Kevin Durant all series long. But I got on Steve Nash just as hard. I made it very clear that Steve Nash is not the right coach for this Brooklyn team. I made it clear that Brooklyn needs a new coach, not a new roster. I made it clear that Steve Nash doesn't understand rotations and adjustments. And certain mistakes he was making was not even really complex mistakes. It was just common sense. So, all those factors in is why Brooklyn lost that series. I already said, none of those games were blowout games. But there was a lot of coaching errors on his side. Not taking Kevin Durant off the ball in games 1 and 2, right? Not utilizing his entire team. Leaving Blake Griffin on the bench for so long. Not playing LaMarcus Aldridge, who I don't know if he's hurt or not. Andre Drummond playing them 4 minutes yesterday. Not paying attention to detail on what is actually going on with the team. But hey, this is who Kevin Durant won on as the coach. And from reports I heard from Mark Stein, ESPN NBA insider, that Steve Nash's job is not in jeopardy because he has the support of who? Kevin Durant. Which, if that's the case, if that's true, Kevin Durant, he deserves everything he's about to get. Kevin Durant needs to be coached hard. His best game, his best way he played his best was in Golden State. Why? Because Draymond Green stayed on him to play defense, play team ball, play together. And that was the best Kevin Durant you've seen. Forget the 73-9 team. He played individually. That was the most complete player you see in Kevin Durant. Excuse me. But you go to this Brooklyn team with Steve Nash, man. He's not the right coach for this team. KD and Kyrie don't need you to be coddling them, letting them run the offense, and because that's not coaching. You got swept with all that talent on your team, right? So that's example number one. You look at the team across that played against them. Boston was a very disciplined team, hard-working team. Used their length. They didn't look like this with Brad Stevens. But you see them with Ime Udoka, they're like a totally different team. Right? Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, same guys on the team, but they look totally different. Okay, look at what happened to the Mavericks yesterday. The Mavericks and the Jazz. I've been saying for everything, the Mavericks got Jason Kidd as their new coach. Look like a totally different team. Why? Mavericks coach Jason Kidd is a hard-working, hard-nosed, tough coach. So now you look at the players on that team, from Max Kleber to Reggie Bullock to Dorian Finney-Smith, to those guys, they're pretty much beating up on the Utah Jazz. They're probably gonna win this series in 6 if I was a betting man, because Utah just looks done. You know what I'm saying? But the makeup on the Mavericks, they have a tough-minded, mentally tough team, and that's what stems from Jason Kidd. They weren't like this with Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle, the Mavericks last year, they were front runners. But you look at this team now, they'll fight. They'll fight back from big leads. Before, this wasn't happening last year. Luka was just basically containing the offense by himself and just, trying to be pretty and shoot all these shots. Utah, Quinn Snyder. I like Quinn Snyder as a person. I think he's a cool person. If I had a chance to ever hang out with him off the court, I think he would be a cool guy to hang out with. But his team is not a championship team because of his philosophy and his coaching style. He's not a guy that's going to hold guys accountable, or he's going to try to, avoid conflict. He's going to try to avoid it. Just a fact. He going to get you to the playoffs. He going to give you a winning record, about 50 games. But in that second year, he's not going to put that pressure on those guys to be. They're going to just do their regular routine. Donovan Mitchell shoots like 30 shots, high volume shooter. Jordan Clarkson, he's going to shoot his threes. Rudy Gobert is going to protect the rim, but he plays with little to no fire. He's on and off like a flame. Mike Conley's been inconsistent. I don't know what's going on with him. But Quinn Snyder, I see him on the bench. He just constantly, is whispering to his teammates' ears and not really bringing no fire. Right? Let me give y'all 2 more examples. I hope y'all follow what I'm saying. How coaching matters, because when your team is a certain way, that means your coach is a certain way. So a coach you can have one coach that makes you look one way. You get a totally different coach, and they change the whole dynamic of that team. Right? Now the Sixers didn't close out the game yesterday. Y'all know how I feel about Doc Rivers. I think he sucks. I think he's a disgrace to basketball as a coach. I think if he loses this 3-0 lead to the Toronto Raptors, needs to be banned from the NBA immediately. Needs to be fired from the Philadelphia 76ers, and not a day later. I think he's just a disgrace. He has all the talent, but this is who he's been. He's had great talent, but he's not able to put it all together and put those personalities together. He just sits on the side, or he stands up and he just tries to, make all these stupid facial expressions to the ref when he doesn't get a call made. Very similar to James Harden. Again, it rubs off on players. How your coach is how your team is. I'm telling you. I'm giving y'all all these examples for a reason, because I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. This ain't no coincidence why he's like this. So, Doc Rivers, again, he's blown 4 3-1 leads in his career. The Magic in 2003, Lob City Clippers in 2015, 2020 with the Clippers, with Kawhi and Paul George, and then he blew another 3-1 lead against the Philadelphia 76ers. So if that's all those times, and you're on the verge of Toronto's looking at the Sixers, they can beat this team. They're just playing with no fear. Remember, this is a 4-5 matchup. This ain't no 1-8 or 2-7. This is a close-knit team. So they're going in there thinking they can beat them. No discipline. Right? It stems from Doc Rivers. He's not a good coach. Y'all tell me if I'm lying in the comments. Who you are, your team is, who your coach is. Your coach is responsible for instilling and designing the game plan for you to be successful and put you in the right position. You can't just roll the balls out and just play, because if you play against a team that's actually well coached and disciplined and has a game plan, has a personnel, they're going to beat you not 10 times out of 10. You got to do your homework. So certain guys need to get fired. Steve Nash needs to be fired and get somebody else in there. That's the first order of business for the Brooklyn Nets. If Doc Rivers blows this 3-0 lead, he needs to be fired and banned. Quinn Snyder needs to be let go from the Utah Jazz. I'm sorry. He's a good guy, but he's not the right coach for that team. Jason Kidd, credit. Ime Udoka, credit. Nick Nurse, he's a good coach too. But Doc Rivers is making it easier for Nick Nurse because Doc Rivers is so bad. All right? So y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out here like swimwear.